Edwin Sifuna.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank this House for according me the opportunity to be on that committee. I admit that it has been a learning curve. I thank all the councils for the parties who have enriched our research here, Mr. Speaker. The people of Meru for being patient with us. Mr. Speaker, I have lost a lot of friends, I can confess, because for the past few days I have refused to answer my phone from the phone calls that have been coming from Meru. But people must understand that when we take up this responsibility, it's a solemn duty to this House, Mr. Speaker. I want to just share out of the experiences 3 things, Mr. Speaker. First of all, as a committee, we feel that when this House decides to go by way of committee, it has to be clear the level and extent of the involvement of our colleagues who are not members of that committee. At some point, Mr. Speaker, and my chair will bear me witness, the committee felt under siege because, of course, from our colleagues, because, of course, there was a lot of interest. So we need to make that clear. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, is the question of time that it takes for us to investigate. Some of us feel that the time is too short. And also the provisions of Standing Order number 80 on the, once the report is tabled, I believe because of the interest, members should be allowed to debate. Finally, Mr. Speaker, my advice is that the Council of Governors must look into training of newly elected governors on various issues of capacity. I believe they need to be trained even on very basic provisions of a constitution, basic provisions of a law. They need to be taken through these courses because I believe elected leaders come from different backgrounds, Mr. Speaker. And some of the problems we see people getting themselves into is because of a misapprehension, misunderstanding, or just basic ignorance of the law, Mr. Speaker, and many of these things can be avoided. Finally, I hope we've demonstrated, Mr. Speaker, that in these matters, gender is not an issue. That in fact, men can defend women, women can defend men, and vice versa. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to leave it there. Advise the County Assembly.
The